the HAN Network, Thursday, March 15th. Happy March Madness, gentlemen. Frank Granito alongside Kevin Coleman and John Kovac. Hopefully I can keep your attention slightly, as we've got plenty of basketball games going on now.
You mean we're broadcasting against something?
I don't like our odds today.
Well, you mean it's not like Tiger Woods is tearing up.
Tiger with a big round this morning too, going -4, tied for second right now.
Well, who's everyone's pick? That's the big question. Who?
Tiger Woods. I took Tiger to win.
Well, no, not in golf. How about March Madness? Who you guys got?
No one cares about that, dude. Tiger Woods is on the course. Come on.
It's not the Masters yet. Wait
I
for
was
the Masters.
problem,
You'll find me watching golf when it's the Masters.
You know, that's like just deciding to pick a national champion when March Madness starts.
Yeah, I'll watch that Monday night.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, they've been playing basketball this month? Wow, that's kind of weird.
I'll get on the Michigan bandwagon. I'll stay true.
Oh,
I just I can't pick against the B line. You know, I'm all aboard the B line here. Who are you going with?
After careful consideration, I went through the entire bracket.
And you picked either Villanova, Virginia, Xavier, or
so
Kansas.
I went with Villanova. I think the Villanova's been top team. I think
Suppy in the back.
UVA is going to get knocked out early. I think they're in a tough spot. I think Villanova's going to take this one.
John?
I was going to go with Virginia, and that blew all the tires out on that, so we'll see where that goes. I was impressed with Villanova in the Big East tournament, so I'm kind of leaning that way. I didn't do a bracket.
Well, that's all right. Michigan State championship game. Get ready for it.
That would be awesome.
Yep, they'd move it. They would move it to Detroit. Play it at the Palace. What do you think about that?
I had Michigan State in my Final Four. I just don't.
That is a bold, like, you went out on a limb for that one there.
I did. I picked I had Duke losing early, and this is gonna be a fun tournament. I think you're gonna see a lot of upsets and some fun games.
I'm a little upset you didn't do a bracket, John, because you've been having a lot of success with the winter brackets to this point. So I feel like you would have been riding a hot streak there.
We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, nothing was going out on a limb.
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter. Chalk is chalk, you know. But you're sitting in the right spot here. You were early on in the season picking your champions for Division I hockey, Division II hockey, and you've still got both of them alive with a chance to win on Saturday.
They are both alive. Greenwich was my early pick, but, man, that's an uphill battle for them on Saturday.
If Greenwich plays the way they did last night, Prep might win by 4 or 5. And
really?
Only because after watching both these games, and Greenwich played tremendously down the stretch. That game turned at the halfway point. They took it over. They fought through a lot of adversity and showed what kind of a team this is in that comeback effort. But if you give Prep an opportunity to go up 2 or 3 early on, I don't know that you're going to be able to come back on Sean McGee.
I think that would be a very tall task there, and I don't want to say surprised because I did like the way Greenwich played all year. I was surprised they fell behind Xavier early, and I was surprised that they were able to come back.
I don't want to go too far off topic here, but just an upset alert. Kansas is only up 2-1 on UPenn. Just over 2 minutes.
You guys enjoy the rest of the show.
No, so listen, Greenwich, obviously you've got Scalier and Alex Mosian, and
yeah.
Coach Rourke said after the game when I'm talking with him, that goal he scores with a minute to go, force overtime, that really defines this career, this season, and the effort he's put in, what he's meant to this group. Matt Davey comes up huge in overtime. Matt Bogger scored a goal as well. They had that depth on display, and that depth is a big reason why we have felt they are best suited to compete with Fairfield Prep. But last night, Ridgefield gave Fairfield Prep as tough a test as they have seen all year. I know that they ended up losing 4-1. Halfway through that second period, it was a 1-1 game, and Ridgefield had Prep on the ropes.
Well, yeah, Sean McGee, made that great save at the end of the first period, and Richfield really kept it close. They had great opportunities, trying to get pucks on net, and they did. And McGee was just made some terrific saves. And you're right. I thought Liam Galloway. We talked about him on Nutmeg Sports yesterday. He tallied a goal in a great game from Liam Galloway yesterday, and continues to have a great season and a great career with the Tigers. And it's tough. You look at that scoreline and think 4-1. Wasn't as closer as you think, but it was a great game, good hockey, and back and forth throughout pretty much those first two periods.
Was it a case, Frank, because I did not have the opportunity to attend the game, you were there, was that a case of Prep being on the ropes and just, now we're not going to be denied and just coming surging back off the ropes?
It was interesting. So they take the 1-0 lead in the first. McGee is strong down the stretch. Start of the second period, that top line for Ridgefield of Forrest, Cullinan, and Walker came out flying. They spent the first 2 minutes of that period on the ice. They earned themselves a power play. Coach Gallagher sticks with them. They're able to convert right away, and now 2 minutes and change into the second period. We're tied at 1, and Ridgefield has all the momentum. Their second line, McGowan, McSpedden, and Parson, and Keith Van Wees did a good job not putting themselves in a vulnerable position. They applied pressure, and they let the top line try to dictate the pace. The second goal that Prep scores is one that junior Sean Gordon is going to want back. He got a piece of it, and it's probably, when looked at again, a soft goal. That's not a knock on the young man. He played phenomenal in this game. He had a tremendous season. He's an FCAC champion. For a reason. It was a tough goal that he let into him. And after that, Ridgefield could only play catch-up for so long. You got that feeling McGee just wasn't going to be beat. And they needed some sort of a little puck luck, some kind of bounce to go their way. It didn't come. Prep keeps Ridgefield contained in their own zone, turns a turnover into that third goal, and the fourth one an empty netter. But they played so well, and, it was impressive when you think about Prep really dominated them at times this season, earlier in the year. They skated with them for the duration of this game last night.
And we talked about yesterday on Nutmeg Sports how third time's a charm now. Maybe this is the opportunity of Ridgefield. Okay, they've seen them twice already. Both teams very familiar with each other. It's tough to go up against a team for a third time in the same season. So, you look at it as maybe, okay, can Ridgefield be able to skate with them, and they did. You're right. You look at how that game ended, and unfortunately, Ridgefield goes home. But you look at it also this way: Ridgefield was lucky to have Sean Keegans in this program. He was great throughout his 4 years at Ridgefield. Last year as a senior, getting an FCAC championship and a state title, and then this year they get a junior goalie in Sean Gordon. Only a junior, and he's got an FCAC title to his name. They got to the FCAC semifinals. A lot to be proud of for the Ridgefield Tigers. I know they wanted to get back and defend their crown. But I think you look at what they were able to overcome. The senior crew did a terrific job. Sean Gallagher, awesome job coaching this Tiger team this year. And you got to think again, they're going to be contenders again next year with Gordon back in net. Yeah, I like Sean Gordon next year.
If that top line for Ridgefield stays next year, and you don't see a couple of those guys departing for prep school, we're not going to be talking about FCAC or state championships, Sean. We're going to be talking about some serious records being broken by those three.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, with a year under their belt, no question.
And I like that they're bringing that Gordon's only a junior too. He gets this year under his belt. Okay, got to see Prep 3 times. Coming back next year for his senior year, I like his chances.
What I love about Saturday at Ingalls is this is the first we're going to get to see Greenwich and Prep. And since the end of the football season, we have talked about, is it going to be Fairfield Prep and Greenwich in the final?
And we're going to dive into that a little bit more. I do want to take a moment, though. The game ends last night, and I've become very close with Coach Gallagher over the past few years, and I have a lot of respect for what he's doing with that program. I was joking with him. I said, it pains me to say that a former New Canaan guy actually enjoys watching Ridgefield hockey now because of the program he has built. He took all of his team to center ice last night after that game, after Prep had left, stood there with them and, thanked them. Thanked his seniors. gave them that opportunity to really appreciate what they had done. A group that wasn't supposed to do anything makes it all the way back and skated alongside Prep. He then stood in the tunnel, kept his seniors out on the bench, took a picture of them in front of, underneath the scoreboard in front of the ice, and it just shows you how much he cares about his players, what he is trying to teach these young men. He got rid of captains because he wants everyone to be leaders. He's doing a tremendous job with this program, and it's an example that a lot of the conference, a lot of the state should really fall in line with. So, Coach, congratulations again on a great year. Thank you for all your help with us. It's been a blast, and, we're looking forward to seeing you again in the future as well. Any thoughts?
It's just such a nice gesture. It's tough. It's tough when you've got a special group of seniors, and that last game with them. It's always the end of the season was always difficult for me when I coached, and when you're never going to take the ice or the field with guys that you did for 4 years. It's a very emotional moment, and I think very classy for them to take that time on the ice last night.
Yeah, John, Coach Gallagher has been nothing but first class when it comes to being a part of the Ridgefield community, being part of all the education system as well, and for him to do that for the seniors, that's got to mean a lot to them. And for the underclassmen too, they kind of have to look at it as, okay, this is a coach that not only cares about us but cares about the program, wants us to succeed, and that's what you want out of a head coach.
It sends a message, and the underclassmen know that this is what's expected and this is what awaits us.
A very impressive run by the Tigers, but there will be a new state champion for Division I in 2018. We'll dive deeper into the Greenwich comeback and Saturday's championship when we get back on Nutmeg Sports. Pennsylvania is beating Kansas right now after this.
Voted best gourmet to go in Fairfield County, Palmer's extensive menu offers everything you'll need to make your next event easy and delicious. Whether you're hosting a small get-together or planning a large celebration, they've got you covered breakfast through dessert. Order online at palmersdarien.com or call 203-655-2077.
Yeah, Dad.
Kyle, I need you to update the financial statements.
I took care of that yesterday, Dad.
Mac, I need you to get those deals approved.
They're all done, Mr. Miller.
Jeff, I need you to order lunch for the meeting. They can't do a thing without me.
Right now, lease a 2017 Sentra S for only $97 a month.
I'm never going to retire.
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Over 80 teas to choose from and a brilliant assortment of biscuits to go with them. Over 70 cheeses from grass-fed cows, which makes a smashing difference in taste. The creamiest chocolate you'll ever taste using no artificial colors or preservatives. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
Welcome back to Nutmeg Sports on the HA Network. Frank Granito alongside Kevin Coleman and John Kovacs, looking now at the other semifinal from last night at Ingalls Rink on the campus of Yale University. Greenwich defeating Xavier 3-2. Xavier led 2-0 in this game halfway through the second period, and similar to what we saw in that Ridgefield Prep game, a softie really changing the fortune here. It was Matt Bogger just putting a shot on net. Getting a piece of it was Xavier's goaltender, falls into the back 2-1, and after that, it was all Cardinals. They tilted the ice, they put all the pressure on, just peppering. Finally, in the third, able to break through and tie the game. The craziest part of it, though, is with 5 minutes to go in the game, they were down 2 men facing a 5-on-3 situation, and they actually came away with the better situation with 2 2-on-1s in it. It was a bizarre finish, but it does really speak to the resiliency of this Cardinals squad this year.
Well, they can be so aggressive on the penalty kill that you see that a lot from them. You see them get the odd man rush, the breakaway, and it all adds up in the penalty kill time from the Cardinals. So that doesn't surprise me. It also doesn't surprise me that it took them a while to chip through, because that's kind of become that they in some of these tough games you see them. It's tight. You know, it's a slugfest, and all of a sudden, they put 2 or 3 together.
And it was interesting too. You're right, they find ways. You got into the overtime. It really felt through the first. I mean, the goal came within a minute 30 of the start of overtime. It felt like Xavier was about to break through. Greenwich could not clear their own zone. It had been a really, really long shift. Pucks just being thrown at Ben Nash. All of a sudden, a bouncing puck gets settled by Nikita Kovalev, sent up ice. Davey coming in 2-on-1, just so patient, forces the defense to take away the pass. He keeps his shot low, and just like that, for the first time since 2015, Cardinals are back into the state championship. I love that it was Matt Davey scoring as well. You had 3 different goal scorers for the Cardinals. It talks about that depth we mentioned. They've got 2 lines as good as anyone. Give a lot of credit to Charlie Graves and Sean Prattley, who played alongside Alex Mojian yesterday. Obviously, JT Lawrence was not in the lineup after being suspended after a little skirmish there in the quarterfinals, but the senior will get a chance to end his career on the right way. Graves and Prattley did a really good job stepping up, filling that void. It's an interesting matchup with Prep now. I think they're as deep skating-wise as anyone is with Prep. A big concern for mine is going to be Ben Nash. There were 2 goals that he gave up yesterday that he probably wanted back. And it's a Prep team, John, as we continue to mention, you cannot make mistakes against.
Do we forget that Ben Nash is a sophomore? I really think we do sometimes.
And that's fair. And I will apologize if I'm being too hard on anyone. I know I tend to be. But
I'm not saying that you're being hard on him. I'm just saying that he has played so well that I think we've almost become accustomed over the course of the past 4 months to seeing him make a ton of saves, make the big saves, and I think lost in the sauce is the fact that this kid's a sophomore.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Well, it's also one of those things where you're at a point in the season now that age doesn't matter anymore, especially with how long he has been the starter. You look at a program like this, synonymous with success. Coach Rurik demands, essentially now senior play out of this young man. It's the expectation that has come with him having been the starter for so long. So yes, obviously he is still growing. He's still learning how to play at this level. But at the same time, Kev, he's been thrown into the fire as long as you can now. Is there really wiggle room for, oh, well, he's only a sophomore when you get to Saturday's state championship?
Well, you look at it this way. He's played in some terrific games against some terrific teams, so he has the experience now. And I think you look at someone like Coach Rurik, he's provided Ben Nash with the confidence level.
Yes.
Each and every game, the games that we were at, he's just raving about Ben Nash, saying, in between periods, during the intermission breaks, in the locker room, I'm talking to him. I'm telling him, keep it up, keep playing well, keep your head up, don't keep it down. Continue to talk to your linesmen. Coach Rurik deserves a lot of credit, too, for his success because he continues to pump in confidence for Ben Nash, and it just drives him each and every game. He gets better and better and better, and this is a great test for him. You look at someone like Sean Gordon, a junior for Ridgefield. You look at someone like Ben Nash, a sophomore. These guys still have time left in their programs where they get an opportunity to play in big games like this. Yes, if Greenwich doesn't come up on the winning end, it's going to be a disappointment, but I know looking forward in the future now, they have a goaltender for 2 more years who's going to be terrific.
And it's not just a goaltender. They have a lot of talent both within the program right now and coming up through the program. But, think back, John, to 2015 when they made their way to the championship game. They played against Darien, and you're probably saying to yourselves, oh, well, you know what? Like, we were just there. We'll find a way to get back. Mm-hmm. There are no guarantees that you're just going to get back there.
Nope.
So I know that this is a big learning experience, and the Cardinals program is certainly trending up at the moment. But for a program that hasn't won a state championship since 1992, you cannot afford to look at this game as, well, this is just the first time. We're going to get back again. You've got to treat this as it may never happen again. And I think that if they're able to embrace that kind of a moment, embrace that mentality, it's going to go a long way in this game.
I don't think they can afford to fall behind like
No,
they did.
no.
They cannot, because Fairfield Prep is used to this. This is what is expected there, is that they will play for the state championship. They are going to want this. They expect to win. That's just the way they are. And that's why they're such a great program and have been perennially for as long as I can remember.
And I think you look at Prep as well, John. They're also a team where we may not get back to this game next year or the year after, but I know there's always an expected to win at Fairfield Prep. But that, I think Prep is going to use that motivation too, just as much as Greenwich.
I think that if you're this Prep team, your biggest concern is not if there's any team that can live in the moment right now. Think about what this Prep team will be. You went undefeated through Connecticut all the way to the state championship game to solidify a 4-year window without winning a state championship for the first time since 1990. There is a lot of underlying pressure on Prep in this game.
They are on a crusade, though, to end that drought. They are on a crusade to win that title Saturday.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to dive deeper into that game. We'll look at both matchups. But first, we got to take a break on Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network.
Dr. Stephen Molinaro and Peter Healy of Family Practice Dentistry and Laser Dental Care have served Ridgefield for over 22 years. Experienced staff offer gentle drillless techniques, preventative care, and cosmetic procedures in a relaxed environment. Grateful for the community's trust and support through the years, new patients and their families are welcome. Call today.
At Rings End, we say it's time to re-love your home, time to refresh and reinvigorate the way you live. And whether you're redoing something big or small, remember the letters RE stand for Rings End. We're the new model in home remodeling.
While there's still a bite out on the water, most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Over 80 teas to choose from and a brilliant assortment of biscuits to go with them. Over 70 cheeses from grass-fed cows, which makes a smashing difference in taste. The creamiest chocolate you'll ever taste using no artificial colors or preservatives. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
Welcome back to Nutmeg Sports. Frank Granito, Kevin Coleman, John Kovac. Of course, we want to wish luck to the Staples Wreckers tonight, playing in the semifinals against Eastern Connecticut. That game at 5:30 from the Whale. Winner plays at 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. Also want to give a shout out to CTHS Hockey. A lot of fun meeting you guys last night, getting to watch the game with you. Absolute blast. You do a great job. Continue the great work through the weekend and, of course, into the future. Obviously, the big matchup in Saturday's championship game. John McGee, the senior goaltender, far and away the best in the state this year, matched up against the sophomore Ben Nash. I'll go advantage Prep. I don't foresee any counter-argument on that one.
No, and considering what McGee did in the semifinals against Richfield, who really played well against Prep, put some good pucks on net, McGee's playing great down the stretch, and that's what you need in hockey. You need a goalie who's playing well, especially in the playoffs, so certainly advantage towards Prep in this one.
Yeah, I would agree.
Defense, I'm actually going to go even. I like the mix of Santry, Pelletier, Martinelli, Colombo, and Fulton that Coach Rurik has going for him right now. I think Ollie Fulton on the back end has stabilized that top four. He can mix in Cadigan if necessary. And so I will level that out there, but I was very impressed with Kevin Araceli, along with Connor Boyle on defense, as well as Matthew Kernigan and Cole Cassey. But I think that is probably the most even in the matchups between the two squads.
Oh, and Pelletier and Martinelli tallying an assist last night. My boy getting on the stat sheet. So
he's always all over the ice.
Oh, he's great, and he's a funny
him.
dude too. He comes off and on the ice, even when he's in the penalty box. He'll take a penalty and he's not going to throw the stick around and get mad. He'll say, "Yeah, that's my bad. I'll get back out there and earn it." And he's that type of player. So I'm a big fan of Pelletier and Martinelli, and I think he's going to be another key piece on the defense for Greenwich in this one.
Took a penalty last night, and before we dive into the forwards matchup, let's talk about the importance of penalties. Prep does not take a lot of penalties, with the exception of Ridgefield, most likely the most disciplined team in the state. Greenwich has got to be very careful because it's a Fairfield Prep power play. It's going to go, if you give them two chances, they're going to score at least one time. You cannot allow them opportunities with a man advantage.
And we've seen Greenwich at times struggle a little bit, maybe get caught doing some things they shouldn't have done. Now, the good thing for them, they use that open ice well. We've seen them score shorthanded several times this season.
It speaks.
I wouldn't say.
Oh no. And I'm just thinking. It speaks to the depth of this Cardinals lineup. All right, you get Lawrence back. You're going to see the line of either Graves, Lawrence, and Mojian, or Prattley, Lawrence, and Mojian, depending how Coach Rurik wants to go about it. Then you've got Kovalev, Bogger, and Davey. At times we saw Davey, Kovalev, and Mojian. I like that too, to sort of change up the lineup a little bit there. Then you'll have Danielson, Graves, and most likely Frost with that third line there. There are three legit lines that you can run. It's going to cause problems, but the top line for Fairfield Prep of Ryan Eckert, Caleb Reeves, and and Kevin Araceli. That's going to be a big issue. Anthony Sirivuzio played very, very well. Then you mix in Joseph Mancini as well. There's a lot of talent. I don't know that Coach Sather can run three full lines the way Greenwich can, but the top two lines are extremely skilled, and you've got 6 players that at any given moment can take the top off of defense.
I remember that first game that Prep played against Ridgefield at the Winter Garden, being there and watching Ryan Eckert skate up and down the ice was, pretty fun to watch. Cole Castle as well, number 2 of the defenseman, the senior. He was a lot of fun to watch. There's a lot of good individual talent, but these guys all play well together as a team, as a unit on the ice. Prep is a lot of fun to watch, but you list off the great names that we've seen throughout the season for Greenwich. And again, Alex Mozian has been great. Kovalev has been playing great down the stretch. Some of the best hockey I think a lot of people have seen him play, adding a lot to his stat sheet is Kovalev. So very good individual talent you're going to see on the ice on Saturday, but both teams, I really do think this is going to be a lot closer on Saturday. But again, mistakes. If Greenwich stays out of the penalty box like we just mentioned before, then there's a good chance that Greenwich can keep this close, maybe pull out the win.
My concern, if I'm Greenwich, is that I'm going to fall behind early, and that in trying to catch up, I'm going to get caught and end up in the penalty box. And when that happens, Prep's just going to pull away. I just think this is a Prep team. They haven't lost in Connecticut, and I think they want to keep that. We beat everybody in Connecticut, and here we are.
Yeah, they have something to prove.
Yep.
They want to go out there.
We've talked about it a lot over the past 2 years of working together, guys. Play this game in 5-minute intervals. If you're Greenwich, get through that first 5 minutes, settle into the game, don't find yourself behind. Take your opportunities in the middle 5 minutes of the first period. See if you can poke one through. And then no matter what, you've got to just be able to win. even if you don't score, but you've got to maintain the pace of play, dictate the tempo of the game in the last 5 minutes of the first period. If you can win those 5-minute segments, you're putting yourself in a great position. And I really think it's a Greenwich team that if it's tied, you know, a 1-goal difference heading into the second period, or late in the second period, going to the third, I think Greenwich has proven through resiliency, facing adversity, they'll be able to find a way in this one. It'll definitely be a lot of fun. That game is at 2 o'clock. I will not ask you guys for a pick unless you really want to.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. John's already made his. He's got the Cardinals. Stay on them. We hope you enjoy the weekend. We're back next Monday for Nutmeg Sports. Don't forget, the FCX Spring Sports Tour is kicking off on Wednesday. We'll get you caught up on this weekend's championship. Let's get you ready for that next week. For John Kovacs, Kevin Coleman, Frank Granito. We'll see you next time on the HN Network.